What a headache. Whew. Hopefully we still got some people that are wanting to hang out this late in the game. Took a whole freaking hour. So for the record, what had happened was this is my first time using Google Hangouts on air to broadcast with. And my guests are trying to find their way here. I just sent new invites. This should be fun still, though. This is painstaking. So I got a feeling that this conversation is going to be really rewarding because of how much it took to get here. Oh my God. So while I wait for them, I'm going to step away for a second because I want to get my earbuds. So hopefully there's some people here. If memory serves me, I'm going to have to watch for this is hilarious. If memory serves me, okay, we're in here. I'm going to have to watch for. All right, Booth is in a test. Kimberly Spencer, hey. Thank you so much for hanging. Wow. Okay, so I'm waiting for the rest of my guests to get here. Rubbing my nose online and stuff. And so in the meantime, I'm gonna run and grab my earbuds really quickly so that I can hear without any echoing. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna disable my camera while I do that. Okay, I am back. Still waiting for my guests to show up. Kimberly, if you're still with me, can you give me a 1? Let me know you can hear me okay. Just put 1 in the chat, whomever's here. Hello. Hey, hello. No problem. Buddha, you here? Okay, cool. I sent you the invite. Did you get it yet? 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 Buddha, where are you? Coolness. Okay, please check. Yes. I invited everybody back in, so into this one. It's still on the other call. Bless the hearts. Oh, it's about to be on and popping. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. I just want to thank everybody that has logged in so far. And y'all invite some more people. Feel free to invite some more people to come. Let everybody know we up in this piece. Okay, hung up that one. Okay. It's slowly but surely trickling in. Should I go back to? No. Let's see. Okay, let's do this. If I do it this way. Unknown invite sent. No. I don't know. Oh no. Okay, we're still trying to figure it out, apparently. Mr. CEO, sir. Okay, I just got, oh, well, I guess that got hung up. All right. Huh? Wait, what? I'm so confused. This video. This is going to be one interesting watch. Hello. So you all are not in the one that's broadcasting live right now. Did you see the new invite?
Like, I'm inviting me up right now. And the new invite.
Okay, I'm gonna do it again. This
I'm wondering if it won't show up as the same conversation with same people.
That's interesting.
Like, I only have one thing on my screen.
This delay is hilarious.
On conversation.
Cute. Okay. How to do, what to do. Invite. Send invite is LaLasWorld. Copy.
It's not so much of an invite.
Invitation posted.
The first one.
We're going to figure this out together. Zusammen auf Deutsch. The delay is real over there.
It's real all over.
Yeah.
I got a message that says LW Live is video calling you.
Let's try
Or
that.
not a message, but it just. But that's what I'm already in it.
Yeah, you're in LW Live. This is from LaLasWorld.
That's not showing up on my screen. Why?
I wonder if I can share, if I share the link with you all.
Yeah, it says that. Right.
Okay, that's not helping. Got it.
All right, are we in?
Yes, it's twice.
What happened? At least I'm not my better earbuds at all. Anybody got any jokes? Somebody's typing frantically. I'll be right back.
Oh, I heard that. I heard that.
I really fast. I had to learn. My dad didn't learn how to play all that stuff. I was doing
Oh. Okay, let me see if I can help quell some of this echoing. Okay. I don't either. Ooh. Who's in here twice? Yes. And you're the reason why we're echoing too, I think. Oh Lord, that came out wrong. I wasn't trying to be ugly or nothing. I wasn't trying to be ugly. I'm here for it. Okay, so I'm gonna put in the group chat who's here, just in case. What that gummit? Wow. Well, y'all listen now. So for those of you in YouTube land who the one or two of you who are watching live, first of all, thank you. Yeah, Kimberly Spencer says she has me on her big screen. Whoop whoop. Thank you, darling. I look forward to truly being on your big screen real soon. That's what is up. You got me on the big screen, brother Dwayne. I'm such a clown. Oh Lord, started from the bottom, now we're back to the bottom. Okay, got it. He said he had me on the big screen, but now I'm on the little screen again. Oh my God. I swear to you, it's not correct. Y'all, for the record, in YouTube land, you're not hearing what's going on the chat because I put my earbuds in. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the Bluetooth back on though so you can hear the speaker so that you'll know that I'm not just talking to the air on video. I'm gonna do that. So y'all have the benefit of knowing who I'm talking to and that I'm not just talking to myself. I'm talking to the people that are supposed to be on this screen with me right now. We're trying to figure out these technical difficulties and stuff. And by the way, anybody out there who can hear me that's in chat land, feel free to drop some jewels of some nuggets of wisdom about this whole live broadcast thing, if you have any, because you know, we're not subject matter experts up in this piece. We're learning this thing as we go. If you can recall, this was released from YouTube prison. Public enemy number one. I still have no clue why they put me in timeout, put me on ice, you know what I'm saying, the way they did, why YouTube did me, how they did me and stuff. And honestly, all it did was gave me a list of possible things that one of which I must have done in order to have a strike against my little old YouTube account. I'm in the Creator Studio. Uh-huh.
Powering on. Welcome to All Tech Lansing.
Can I get some of my technology to work with me tonight, please? Trying to get my speaker back on here. Even it's being contrary.
So we can stream a Zoom webinar to YouTube. I'm not quite. I'm trying to look up the actual details for that.
What, do you have me up on the big screen, brother?
Yes, ma'am.
Really? Oh. I'll be grand. I'll be great. Gonna have the whole world on a plate. Starting here, starting now.
Damn.
Nothing? Nobody's still seeing the invitation?
Oh, what? That's funny. What? Picture.
No new one.
Send a new one?
Oh no, I just said I don't see a new one.
Okay.
Yeah. Man.
Powering on. Welcome to All Tech Lansing.
I want to know why my speaker's being stupid. That'd be good to know. Like literally, wow. Kim, don't laugh at me, sis. She over there, LOLing. Oh, were you laughing at my song? Is that what you're laughing at? Me singing about everything coming up rosy. What happened?
I say it's process.
It's a process. You know what? I just want to send a special shout out right now to, and I haven't even had an opportunity to introduce anybody that's supposed to be on the panel tonight because of technical difficulties. Darn it. But I do need to say, what had happened?
I said, what's cool?
We can all who now?
Still see each other.
Yes, I agree. That is cool. Kind of. That's cool. Y'all can see me. I can toggle back over and see y'all. But you know what would really be cool? What would really be cool is if I could get us all on the same screen live. Broadcast a lot. Come on, YouTube. What are y'all doing to me right now? Like, what is this game we're playing?
No, I'm trying to play around with my YouTube to see if it's going to give me the same problem or how to do this.
Oh, yo, let's try this. Let's try this then. Shoot. Let's try it this way. All right. Share the permanent link, bookmark. Okay. So. Let's see. Maybe I send this to y'all and then y'all can, you know what I'm saying? You know. Let's see if this works. God help me. Please let it work. Okay. Here we go. Well. Fine. Command. Oh, okay. Took a second, but finally. You know what? I release.
I watch everything that's coming together just because you said that, I swear.
Inhale the positive, exhale the negative. Okay. Okay. Well, interestingly enough, yeah, I just sent the link instantly. So now click on that and see if that brings you in, please. Please.
Okay. Where did you send it?
In the group chat. And in the actual chat on the live that you all are in.
Oh, okay.
Or the Hangouts thing. Listen, I'm stress eating at this point. It's official.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's a done deal now. Okay.
I got your back.
Have myself a bite of quick.
All the way out.
Kimberly Spencer. Thank you, Kimberly Spencer. I appreciate it. You said I'm keeping her entertained. Yes. I'm on my hustle. Keeping the people entertained. Thank you so much for hanging out, Kimberly. We're gonna get it together. What's that? Up.
Okay.
We got one.
Okay.
We got one.
One down.
One down.
It says off air though.
What happened?
It says off air.
How the hell?
Am I on air?
You're on air.
Okay. How's everybody doing?
So what did you do, Dwayne?
Everybody
say hello to Dwayne Washington. Has entered the room.
For the record, in YouTube land, you're not here.
We have
Tanisha Washington is next to him. Excellent. Come on, team.
over here.
Yes.
All right, bring it down now.
I'm trying to see.
Volume down.
Dwayne, what'd you do?
I clicked on the link in the thing you sent.
Uh-huh.
I
And
clicked
then
on
what?
that. That's all I did, and it brought me here.
Come on in the room.
I'm in the room.
Up in the room. Come on in the room.
There it
I'm
is.
still emotional eating.
There we go. It's funny.
Okay, I
Kim
think.
said you sound like her brother, Dwayne.
Huh?
Kim Spencer says you sound like her brother.
I am her brother. That's my sister.
Come on now. Come on. Wow.
Oh, we got one more.
Dwayne said, I'm your brother, don't you know?
Yes.
I'm your brother.
Hey.
Wait, who is that? Nicole.
Shoot.
Oh, Nicole is in the room.
Oh, what's going on here?
Nicole is in the building.
Coming through
yeah.
shadow.
Kimberly said, hi, brother. Dwayne.
Hey, little sis, how you doing? She's my
Okay,
favorite
what's
sister
going on
today.
here?
I'm so happy right now. I almost am ready to cry. I'm so happy because this shouldn't be a problem anymore after tonight. Oh my God.
All things are ready.
Wow. LaLa's World is about to be live for real.
Mm-hmm.
For really real. Where's Medusa? Okay. So now go send everybody else the link real quick. Since that's what it's gotta be. That's what it's gotta be. Got it. Okay. Yes, hang the other one up, please. Okay, I just sent the link in the chat and on Facebook. Nicole, you are on it, doggone it. Ooh. Oh yay! Kimberly says she sees us all on her TV.
We're famous. We're YouTube famous.
Oh my goodness, is it working for me? Yes.
Huh? Oh, do what now?
I think it's working for me.
Y'all
Is it working for you? Can you see yourself now?
I see
I
y'all.
can't.
Both us in the room.
All right, we're good to go.
Oh my
We're
goodness.
good to go. We're good to go. We can start a talk now. And here's the thing: we're almost 50-50 balance. Say again.
I was speaking in tongues.
Kibo Shando Ha and a Toyota.
Lord and Taylor. Lord and Taylor.
Mitsubishi Eclipse. Yes, amen. Amen. Amen and amen.
And it just goes
Up
on.
in here, up in here.
Could be in YouTube jail again.
We prevailed. Is it travailed? We travailed.
Don't you call it the way. Listen now, Dwayne. Listen now. Your prayers have power. Don't call that. Okay.
Get out.
Well, hey, it's working, right? Hey.
You the reason we in here right now. Your prayer.
Yes.
Okay. So don't call that.
Heaven's heaven's gate.
Don't you call that, sir. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't call it.
All right. So what's that?
I'm gonna need y'all to resurrect this laptop that just took one for the team.
The laptop wanna go there?
Anyway.
Oh, we got guests.
Just
Get out. Do I use make a phone call? Yeah. This is one of the terrible things about not being married. I should be like, you know what? Can you come get him? I gotta make a phone call.
hey, don't expect for that to work all the time.
For some reason, if I make a FaceTime call, it works. For some reason, maybe he's not old enough to know.
That part. All right. So now that we're all in here. Oh, Kimberly says, I'm good. Love you. Perfect Storm is in here. What's going on, Mr. Officer? Hey, darling. All right. So, wow. Yay. We've got people. We've got talkers and we've got some chatters. This is good stuff. Okay. So, introducing the people that we have on the panel so far. We're expecting a couple more, I'm thinking, right? I think Medusa's coming in. Maybe one or two other people. Either way, if not, it's still gonna be a great conversation for the next hour, give or take. Because I got a couple things I want to talk to y'all about. Panel.
Let's go.
And it's been interesting. Times have been really interesting lately. I think y'all saw a couple of things I posted in the on the group page, right?
Mm-hmm.
Different these times we're living in. Hey, Bootha, I'm hanging up the other one now, FYI. I think we're all out of the other one, right?
I think.
Yeah.
Well, that's hilarious. And now my speaker just picked everybody up. That's, you know what, whatever. And so my live is buffering. That's interesting. Hey, good to hear from you, Perfect Storm. So can y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Am I echoing?
No.
Oh, I don't need these stinking earbuds then. All right,
No.
cool. Excellent. All right. So, a couple of things I want to talk with you all about. Did you all see in the news about about the dress code that is hereby being enforced in a Houston school district for parents?
Round of applause.
Oh, we got a whole round of applause from Nicole. Talk to us about it, Nicole. Why the round of applause?
I gotta admit, I only could peruse that article, but from the small bit of foolery I read,
We got feedback.
you got feedback.
Turn your volume down.
Now. Still?
Or echo, not feedback, but
Was it still echoing?
Nope.
Perfect.
Okay.
Hats off to that principal. I think that it's awesome that she cares enough to get involved with the community that way and cares enough about the impact that the parents and the community is having on the children. You know, I can see how some people can get offended and tell people how to dress, and you shouldn't have to. But
Agreed.
we got
Shouldn't have
echo
to.
again.
That's the thing.
yeah.
Have we? Okay, earbuds are going back in then. I can take a hint.
That's just like, well, not just like, but I'll make a very small comparison. A part of what I do is in and one part of raising these children, fortunately or unfortunately, is also having to raise the parents in the community around the children. So that's
I
what
had some
that's
real bad
doing.
delay. I couldn't understand what you're saying.
Do you? Because it's delayed.
Can you repeat that? I missed all of that. I had some delay going on some kind of way. Or yeah, echo.
Repeat what I said.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no feedback now.
All right. So my hat goes off to the principal, and I could see how some people would feel offended and think and say things like you should not tell grown people how to dress. And my response to that is you shouldn't have to, but when you're raising children and when you're teaching children, sometimes it also includes having to raise and teach the parents and the family and community around those children. I mean, they got to be supported. Everything that you're teaching them has to be supported when they go home.
So once again, what was passed as far?
I looked at one thing when it started off with saying basically what happened is at a school sent some things home saying this is the dress code. They actually had to send some people home for a dress code violation for the parents not dressing appropriately when they came up to the school. And so anytime they have to start the whole policy with no pajamas like that, I mean, if they have to come up with a policy, and I'm with you, they shouldn't have to tell you not to come up to the school without pajamas. Now there's some other things that are subjective, but when they start the conversation with no pajamas, they got to tell you not to come to if they got to tell you not to come to the school in your pajamas.
Seriously.
There's a whole lot of other situations going on.
Agreed.
Oh yeah.
I was just last week I was at a government building a week and a half ago, and taking care of some business, and there's 4 or 5 signs posted up in the office that I was waiting in line in, saying, please do not allow your children to play on the queue ropes because they could fall and hurt themselves. Why would parents who give a dang about the safety and well-being of their children need to be advised that allowing your children to play on the little velvet ropes that they keep a line and orderly or whatever, allowing your children to swing on and play on those ropes could hurt them? It's like some things you shouldn't have to tell adults.
Because some people don't watch their kids. Some people don't watch their kids. But as long as they're not bothering them, they just leave them. I see it all the time. It's unfortunate.
Hold on, y'all.
And then there are some who really just don't know what they're doing.
That part.
They may want to, but they just have no idea because they don't know and they weren't taught.
Or they're preoccupied with whatever they're building for.
With being unbothered by their own.
You know what? I think the problem goes deeper.
They're used to it. They live with those kids.
If I'm back to the pajamas though. I can't let these pajamas go. If you a grown woman, because ain't no grown man showing up to school in pajamas.
You'd be surprised.
No, I wouldn't be surprised. Ain't no grown man showing up in pajamas.
They're at the store.
He might show up with his pants sagging. Might show up in a white tee, but he ain't showing up in his pajamas.
That was on the list too.
I'm just saying, if a grown woman shows up to school where her children are being educated
Oh, I've seen it.
with pajamas on. That woman didn't have a daddy growing up. I'm just saying.
Oh wow.
She didn't have, because
So, okay.
nobody was there to
So
tell
why
her
daddy?
early, baby, don't do that.
Daddy would have told her.
Because there's certain ways daddies don't let their daughters leave the house. In pajamas, it ain't nowhere in the world. I got a 20-year-old, okay? She can't even fix her mind. She is grown, okay? She good and grown. Ain't nowhere in the world she can fix herself to say, I'm finna leave the house in some pajamas. And she grown. Okay? That's not
That part.
No. If you see my daughter out somewhere in pajamas, she put them on after she left the house. And so I'm just saying, I think we might have a deeper problem here of daddy. If you see a brother, a grown man,
Go to Walmart.
at the school where his children are being educated in a white tee and sagging his pants, he also didn't have a father growing up,
or didn't have much.
because ain't nowhere in the world a good daddy gonna let you leave the house with your butt showing. Here's the thing. If you go to school with that, somewhere in your mind, this is acceptable. Like, you're not going across the street. You're not even running to the store. No, you're going to a whole agency with people who are being paid to educate your child, where your child can be ridiculed on a regular basis. These are the people who hold the key to your child's future. And in your mind, you thought it was okay for me to keep these Hello Kitty pajamas on.
My God.
This white tee, sag my pants, let me show my butt. That's okay. You ain't got a daddy. You don't have a daddy. You don't have a father. A father would stop that from happening when you're 3. And so when you're 33, you won't have these problems. That's what a father will do. Now, I don't know about a baby daddy, but I'm talking about a father.
Hey, I totally understand what all of y'all are saying, but let's
Boonap, one moment.
You hear me?
With the Vandross.
Can you hear me?
So real quick, we hopped in the conversation, and I didn't even introduce y'all. Shame on me.
No, you good.
Booty, you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. So I have on the panel tonight. I have Dwayne and Tanisha Washington, ladies and gentlemen. The crowd goes wild. Woo!
Right on.
I have Nicole Boo, check 1, check 2, up in the building.
Hey.
Check 1, check 2. And then I have to tell y'all now, this gentleman, I'm a fan of everybody that's on the panel consistently anyway. But I'm a fan of this man's on a different level. We go back to what, 2000, what, Buta Vandross?
11, 10, something like that.
9, 10, 11, somewhere around there. This is Buta Vandross, as it were, of Loose Cannons Duo.
Yes,
This guy also has a separate brand called Be Vocal. Am I not correct? That right there. And just a great guy, an awesome musician and lyricist, and someone I respect really, really highly. And I'm super happy to have him contributing on tonight's panel. So I'm so grateful that you all are here. So both of you getting ready to chime in about the school dress code thing. What were you gonna say?
Well, it's not so much of a and I totally respect everything that y'all are saying as far as how parents should come up to a school and how they should be looking. But I remember as a kid, like, just getting in trouble at school and my mom showing up like in a house coat.
My Lord.
House coat and house shoes. And it wasn't about how she was looking. It was all about what she came up there to say, not only to me, but to the teachers or the principals, or you know what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is it once she opened her mouth and started talking, what she had on was not a it no it didn't factor into the conversation.
Hmm.
Now, you probably had some on the sideline who probably looked at her and been like, oh, she got on such and such and such and such. But if you listen to what she was saying, then it took the whole shine off of what she had on. So I'm not gonna sit here and demean nobody, no parent. I'm not gonna demean them for what they have on when they go to the school. But when they get to the school, it's all about what are you talking about. Now if you go up there and the language is matching the dressing, is matching the clothing, then we got a problem. If the language matches the clothing, we got a problem. But if the language doesn't match the clothing, because we don't know what's going on at home. We really don't. So we don't, and when I say that, we don't know if those parents don't have no other clothes to put on but what they came up there in. But if the clothing matches the language, yeah, then we got a problem. But if the clothing don't match the language, hey, and if you really got something to say, I'm gonna listen to what you say before I even look at what you got on.
So I would say two things to that. One, I see where you're coming from because back in the day, you're right. Mama would come up there, and you might see your mama in a house coat and a do rag on, but she's coming up there to whoop that boy's tail,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And go
yes.
back
And I think
home.
the difference now is
Yeah.
that when that woman comes through the door, she coming there to cuss out every teacher and every print. And let me tell you, if you, I've done a lot of work inside of schools, and this is some advice. Now we homeschool our children though, for
Right.
this same reason. But if
Salute.
you have an issue with the school, I'm going to tell you what not to do.
Right.
Don't go up to the school and cuss the teacher out and leave your child with this teacher
Mm-hmm.
8 hours a day, right? Don't do that. If you feel the need to cuss the teacher out, just know you need to remove your child from that school. That's going to be a good thing for you. Otherwise, there's other ways to be able to handle that. And I think that the issue is from because I see it from the other side. The issue is a lot of times it does match the dress, right? And they come up there and your kid had been acting a fool, been beating up folk, and hit the teacher and the whole nine, and then they come up there and they cussing out the teachers and the principal for calling them on their job when they should be. It's like you shouldn't call me on my job because you need to handle the problem. And we're like, if you had handled your problem, your kid wouldn't be here terrorizing the school, right? And so I think that the issue is partly that, and then secondarily, I'm still saying I love y'all to death, but you know what? If y'all got to if somebody got to go to court, they ain't showing up in pajamas,
I bet
right?
you
Right.
They
will.
find
Right.
something to be able to do, and if they're going to be responsible people and say, that's different. If the school call you and say he need a butt whooping, that's different, right? But that's not what's happening these days, right? That's not what's happening. And
But
and if they call you in for a teacher parent thing, I once again love you to death, but y'all can't make me believe she ain't had nothing but pajamas, right? Now some of the other stuff
no
I'm
doubt.
not on board. Like they said, we can't have a headscarf. Well, I mean, I think that's going too far. But pajamas,
Yeah.
booty shorts, or your so for example, one of my best friends is a teacher, and I won't give you the whole story because these are some hilarious stories. However, a good percentage of his children that go to the school he teaches or did teach at are strippers. The mamas are
My
strippers,
Lord.
and they have on several occasions showed up to the school in stripper attire. Okay, well that's
Jeez.
not acceptable. That's just
Jeez.
not acceptable, and I think that um, to continue to do that is a disservice to women in general because remember there's still boys at that school, right?
Mm.
And we want boys to see women as ladies. And if they don't see that, if they see them as anything but ladies, then it's not going to be good for women. And it's not going to be good for that boy or girl whose mama that is. They're going to get talked about bad.
Right.
I mean,
That part.
remember, there's a whole conversation when that mama leaves the school.
That's the truth.
Right? There's a conversation with the principals. There's a conversation with the other teachers. And more importantly, there's a conversation with his peers. Your mama show up to the school looking like a stripper. You know what the conversation is going to happen later. Yeah, you're going to have to fight that day. Somebody going to pull out $1 talking about, man, I'm going to see your mama tonight, man. I'm going to see your mama tonight. I got $1.50 on me.
But you know what
So I think we need to represent ourselves better. If you just pull up pictures, and I'm going to talk specifically for African Americans for a moment. If you pull up pictures of how we looked, and pull up a picture of Howard or Fisk, go back 40 and 50 years, and you see what those brothers and sisters look like, right? They look like something. They look like they cared about something. They wasn't showing up to school with a rag on their head and in pajamas. That just wasn't how it was going down. And so I think that we need to take a task out of their book or a line out of their rule book and say that might be a good idea. Whether the school implements it as a rule or not, I think that we as people and responsible parents should just know better.
You know what?
Has a dress code, and like our kids are homeschooled, but they go to a fine arts academy for homeschooled kids. And if your kids are under 16, you have to be on site. And they have a dress code. It's at a church, but they have a dress code, and we have the same dress code as the kids. So we can't wear like yoga pants or low cut tops, midriffs. None of that can be showing. If you wear shorts, they need to come to your knee, and that's for us too. You know, we have the same rules as they have, and I know the parents at that school aren't up there all day like we are, but even if we are coming to visit, we are expected to adhere to the dress code. And for me, I don't have an issue with it because it's not anything weird. It's just normal clothes.
So, and if you got to realize, like, if you're a mom and you say I got a problem with that, you're fighting for the right to wear pajamas to school. Like,
seriously,
think about that. You know,
just that. Well, here's my thing also, and I
can understand, like, because somebody had said that they may not have been able to go to the salon and get their hair done, and so they wear the head wraps. I think some of the head wraps look really nice, so I don't have a problem with that. You know, if you want to cover up your hair or your head, then you should be able to do that. So I don't know what but they were saying like bonnets and shower caps. Like that's a little different than
your curl cap.
That's a little different than having like a head covering, you know. So
hilarious. What I was gonna say
we don't have that as a rule.
What's that?
I don't know. I said we don't have that as a rule as far as the dress code where my kids go, but I'm sure if we started wearing them, then they probably would be like, you know, let's not do that. But
so much, right? Well, no. What I was going to say was that I personally have always been, you know, I can really only speak from not the bonnets. Hilarious. Who is that? KK Chan, welcome to the conversation. Not the bonnets, no. So no, what I was gonna say was I've always been personally a believer in, you know, people treat you the way they perceive you. And so personally, I've always taken, you know, how I speak very seriously, although I found out by watching replays of our conversations that I'm pretty doggone country. Nevertheless, oh my gosh, I'm like, dang, I'm country. But but it is what it is. But it is hey, you know, but nonetheless, I do the best I can to present myself verbally as one to be taken seriously when I'm you know, involved in a serious conversation. And I also have the same regard in reference to, you know, how my attire, there's time and place. And so You know, we could get into splitting hairs about respectability politics, but at the end of the day, the bottom line is people are going to treat you. How people treat you will be based on how they perceive you. And, you know, in reference to brown skinned people, I usually use quotations when I say black people because none of us have skin that's black. I'm just saying. But
well, I've seen some.
I've seen one in my lifetime, and I was so wowed by it. Like I truly was. I was like, yo, like your skin truly.
But it's pretty though.
Oh, it is. I was so wowed.
Smooth and pretty.
I seen one girl.
For
I
brown
was just
skinned people,
mesmerized for a minute.
Yeah, seriously, yeah. So, but for us, you know, we already kind of, in essence, we've been programmed to hold this belief that people, you know, the general public is always looking for a reason to other us anyway. And so, you know, I could be wrong, but generally speaking, that's kind of, you know, we've generally in you know, to varying degrees been programmed to carry that belief anyway. And so with that being said, I've always heard the statement in varying forms, you know, if you put yourself in a position to be F with, you'll get F with. You know? And so if the accepted concern is that somebody's gonna be looking for a reason to try, well, you know, they can look, but they can also look and not find one, meaning not be given one.
Right.
True.
You know,
and I'll use. I want to go a little bit further, if y'all don't mind. I'm gonna use myself as an example. I attended a mixer, and it was majority, you know, non-brown skinned people in the mixer, and there was this group, about 15 non-black women, as it were, non-black women that converged upon the event as a group. And somehow a good portion of them were close to where I was standing. Now I was standing where I was standing first and for a while. Okay. And so, you know, somehow when they got up there, I couldn't figure, I hadn't moved much, but I couldn't figure out how to not be in their way. Meaning I kept getting bumped into. Now I'm not going to talk about how much of a belle of the ball I was for the night, but we're not going to go into that. So I wasn't bothering anybody. I just happened to be there. And apparently it was these women found it necessary to impress upon me that they were uncomfortable with me being there, to the degree that they wanted to make me uncomfortable with being there. So the goal was either one of two things, right? Microaggression, is that what they call it?
That's what that is.
Situational, what's the situational, I forget what it is. Situational aggression, I'll just call it that. So anyway, so one or two things was expected to happen. Either A, I was just gonna take the beat down. Or B, I was supposed to transform into the angry black woman. Which one do y'all think I did?
Neither.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So, you know, this whole microaggression.
I'm
sorry?
I've done that. I thought I'm a little guilty of that myself. Like, if I know one time, me and my dad and my mom were I think we were like at a hospital or something, and going to the waiting area, and there was a couch, and somebody was sitting there. There were three of us, and there's 3 seats on the couch, and there's one lady on the couch, and there's plenty of other seats, but I knew that if I had my dad go sit on the couch, that she would move. And so I told my dad, I said, come on, let's go sit on the couch. And so when we went to sit down, I guess she got uncomfortable and moved, and I knew she would, so my mom could have the seat. But we kind of did it on purpose.
That part. So in this case, we
weren't rude to her or anything. We didn't say anything to her. We just sat down.
Right on. You know, so if you're uncomfortable, do what you got to do. Exactly. So what I did in that case was, you're right. I did not take the beat down. No, I did not. And I did not transform into the stereotypical angry black woman. What I did was, I turned into the biggest Diana Ross I could become. And suddenly, this music that was playing anyway, suddenly I just really, really began to enjoy it. So much that every time I flank, would do my shoulders and fling my hair, somebody would wind up feeling it a little bit. Somehow, it didn't take long for them to figure out how to give me a little bit of elbow room. It's really interesting. Meanwhile, I looked even more fabulous than I did when they first got there because of the fact that I was enjoying myself that much more. I mean, sometimes people would, so I'm saying I'd like to say this. There was an impetus. There was a what's the word I'm looking for? An action, right? And there were expected reactions. I gave them neither one of them. And at the end of that, I could have been escorted out of there in handcuffs, y'all.
Yeah.
I could have, but for what? You see what I'm saying? Why would I give anybody the satisfaction of putting me in that position? So that's all I'm saying.
So going back to the school issue, right? and how we come up to how we as parents go to schools dressed. At one point in time, our parents used to didn't have to worry about how their kids acted in school because schools were allowed to discipline us in school, right?
Right.
Just as soon as they told teachers and principals that they could no longer discipline us in school, then let's kind of look at what started to transcend after that. Kids started to it was no longer in a teacher's power, or they no longer had the power to call your parent and tell your parent what was going on, because your kid could come home and tell you or give you a story or paint a picture of what was going on, and as soon as the parent got word of it, knowing that the teacher can no longer discipline their child, then just like the brother said, now you going up to the school, you cussing out the teacher, you cussing out the principal, because you're going on, you're only going on off of what you can. So now, man, we've entered a new time.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to look at everything that's been taken out of the school. They've taken prayer out of school. They've taken discipline out of school. What? I mean, we can think of a couple of other things that they've taken out of the school. So now, honestly, teachers, no power at all. So your child can come up there and do the damn fool.
Right.
They can go to school and do the damn fool.
Right.
And when it get back to the parent, now we have a new school of parents.
My God.
We got a new school of parents. We don't have big mamas and big daddies no more.
Because Big Mama and Big Daddy wasn't coming to school in stripper clothes.
Come on now, but at that same point, grandmama now is 45.
Yep.
My grandma 25.
Grandmama 45. Mama 30.
Fabulous.
Child 15.
Wow.
They all grew up in the house together.
Yeah,
They all grew up together.
that's a whole nother talk show, though.
It's a real fine line of, and don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to excuse nobody for how they excuse no parent for how they go to school in no pajamas and sagging pants. But I'm just saying, man, it's a fine line of where we came from and what we was brought up in, and
Mhm.
and I know we try to bring our kids up in the same manner, but it is rough.
You
We're
know,
in, we
But
we
also, Big Mama in her house dress was covered up. She
yeah,
wasn't showing nothing.
yeah. Big Mama wasn't showing
Big
no
Mama wasn't
V-neck.
showing nothing with that house
no,
dress
no,
on.
no, 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 no. Big Mama wasn't showing nothing, nothing.
No,
But that's what I'm saying.
she didn't want Big Mama to show nothing.
We no longer have Big Mama.
Oh
So
my God, you
there's
are
really
absolutely
go ahead.
I can't. Oh,
You swinging your
So
hair.
there's really two other levels of that, right? So
Okay.
one level is what we talked about, and it's really two sides of it. Like you said, my brother, that yes, the kid can go home and say whatever. You have the other side of the parent, the administration, the teacher is actually calling the parent and getting cussed out on the phone and don't even want to deal with it. And but then you have the other side, the reaction of the school, right? So now
Right.
you have, and so to put this in perspective, one of the things that I do is volunteer in a youth prison every week. Okay, so the place that everybody says kids gonna go when they keep messing up, I'm there
My
every week. So I'm
goodness.
there with all kids that murdered folks at 15. I'm there with all of them. Okay, now the adverse side of that
Let's
is
do.
what happens is that the school adopts a no tolerance policy. So what
Hmm.
happens is that you have kids literally 14 and 15 years old in prison for something that we might not even got pops for. Okay,
Wow.
literally spending 2 and 3 years in prison. For example, there's a kid, he just got released, and I usually never ask kids what they did. They volunteered anyway. And once I like kids when they end up in prison because they don't have nothing to hide. They don't, kids that are out there doing wrong, they got something to hide. These kids don't have nothing to hide. So it was he wanted me to be there a day before his release and kind of talk with him and that kind of thing. So I said cool. And I happened to ask him because he's I mean there's a lot of kids up there, really good kids. Just made some wrong decisions, but some of them are like they're just good through and through. Like, how did this kid end up here? And I said, how'd you end up here? And he said, well, I had a charge for assault on a public office, a public officer, right? And so when you hear on a public servant, I'm sorry, when you hear
Mhm.
assault on a public servant, we think he hit a police officer, right?
Right.
Mm-mm.
So I'm like, dude, when you get out, make sure don't hit no more cops. He said,
Mm-mm.
well, Pastor Washington, I
Mm-mm.
didn't hit a cop. I said, well, who did you hit? He said, well, I hit I said, he said it was a teacher. I said, well, you can't go around hitting teachers either, man. I said, was it a guy teacher? He said, yeah, it was a guy. I said, well, when you get out, remember, you can't just go busting teachers upside the head either. And he said, well, it wasn't like that. That's not actually what happened. And now this is a kid
Wow.
saying, I was wrong, right? He said, I was wrong. I said, well, let's walk through what happened. And long story short, here's what happened. The kid was supposed to be in class. The teacher asked him to go to class. He didn't want to go to class. Okay. So the teacher grabs him by his arm, and dude shuns him off like that. They gave him an assault charge to
Wow.
send him to,
And you
zero
know,
tolerance. And
and you
so
know what?
we have all of these kids now busting prisons wide open that literally, I mean, back in the day, first of all, that wouldn't even got to the principal because you wouldn't have did that because the teacher could have gave you pops. And if the
Now,
teacher did give you pops, they'll send you down to the coach to give you pops. You might not even got expelled for that, right? And so now they're
Hmm.
ended up in prison, and that's not going to help them overall. So you have one side that is the teacher is getting no help from the parental the parental authority in the house, and then you have
mm-hmm,
the other
Wow.
side of because of that. And once again, we go back to good fathers, right?
mm-hmm.
Because of that, now you have the school saying, you know what, we don't want to be sued, we don't want to go through all this, and so now they just call the cops and send you to prison, right? Straight to jail. And when you sit in that courtroom and listen, and just I would encourage everybody if they think everything is fair, I would encourage you go down to, especially if you are in a large municipality, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Austin, Chicago, anywhere like that. Go down to the courthouse wherever they process kids. Sometimes there's a separate courthouse, it may be a truancy courthouse or whatever. Just go down there and listen, and you'll see the biggest disparity ever. You'll see two kids back to back with the same exact charge with no priors. One get probation, the other get 5 years in all day. All day.
Right. And you know what? You know what else too is there's a very large disparity in the age of teachers back when we were young and the age
Mm-hmm.
now. It's almost like the teachers who are teaching kids now, the kids can get on social media, go find a teacher, follow a teacher,
Wow.
like, thumbs up, thumbs down. There, that aspect of it right there, man, is that really lessened the gap between teacher
Mhm.
and because
Yeah.
now the teachers are kids trying to teach kids, and
Mm-hmm.
it ain't happening, bro. And
Man,
it's all
I
about
had
just what you said. It's what you said. It's like there's this no tolerance now, but at the same time, say man, the kids are looking at the teachers like their peers. And when we were young, we had this grand respect
oh yeah.
for for the gentlemen and the women that were teaching us, man. We didn't cross that boundary. Nowadays, the boundary is invisible.
Man, I was teaching, and this is I wasn't gonna bring this up, but we're gonna go on and go there. So I was teaching gentleman society. That's when we teach young men how to become gentlemen. I was at an elementary school, and this one particular we take them through 23 courses. But one course that we teach is called How to Treat a Lady. Okay,
Hmm.
and so we're there
Yes.
in a library. We got all these third, fourth, and fifth grade boys. Mind you, this is elementary school. Okay,
Hmm.
and we sitting there, and I needed a lady, and a lady was walking by one of the teachers, and I called her in because I needed a good example. So she came in. Now check this out. One of the fourth graders. Let's just say I'm not gonna say her name, but let's just say her name was Miss Parker. Okay.
Hmm.
One of the
Miss
fourth
Parker.
graders makes this statement. He goes, "Oh, I know why Pastor Washington picked Miss Parker, because Miss Parker is fine."
Wow.
Now, I hadn't even really looked at Miss Parker. She was just a woman walking by. When I just sat back and looked, I'm like, first of all, Miss Parker was dressed like she's about to go to the club. She was showing everything. I'm
Mm.
like, Miss Parker is kind of fine. You should know that, though. And I'm just sitting here like, that's got to be the big. We didn't have a Miss Parker when we was in school. We didn't have none of that. And so I think that we mentioned like all the things that have left school. I think the bigger issue is not the things that have left school; those have added to it, but it's the things that have left our home.
That
So
too.
like, yes, they took prayer out of school, but really, we took prayer out of our kids,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And so what's happening is that because things, and we're talking with school districts right now and teaching them how to rectify the situation, but it's because of what kids are being exposed to at the house
Right.
and what they're not getting, the kind of structure, the kind of leadership that they're not getting in the house. And so
Mm-hmm.
now you have kindergartens coming to school saying some awful things to some other little girls. And you literally have elementary school kids catching charges, for things like sexual assault. They're catching charges for possession of pornography, sexual harassment. These are elementary school kids.
Sheesh.
And
That's
and I will
oh,
say
oh,
this.
those are
Oh, because
parents.
of the phone.
Yeah, because of the phone.
Pictures on the phone,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what happens when you expose your child to, when you because you can't none of us we can't parent 24/7. We can't.
Yeah.
No.
It's the
Yeah.
truth. But when you expose your child, when you want to shut your child up by putting a cell phone in their hand, you know what I'm
That
saying?
part.
Hey, be quiet. Hey, shut up. And you put the cell phone in their hand. You don't know what you're exposing your child to at that point.
Right.
Right.
When
Preach.
you think
You know
it's
what I'm
cute that they cussing at 3, that's not cute.
saying? Exactly. And we
When
calling
they
it
twerking at 4, that ain't cute.
it's cute. It's cute. It's cute.
Shoot. They're gonna be
Because
on the pole. Now you can't understand why, some little dude we talk about what did you present to him. Now we can't, figure out why she's doing something crazy to this little fourth grader. You know what I'm saying? It's because what you taught this little girl to do for the last 8
Oh,
years.
there you go. There you
Hmm.
go. It's
I'm so
it's
glad my kids
something
are
that,
grown over now. Oh my God, there's too much going on.
yeah, it really is.
Truly
But
is.
we can try, but we are so we are so far behind the times right now. And I promise you this, we are so far behind the times right now. We can't wrap our arms around what has been planned for years. This ain't
Wow.
accident. This is not accident. This is not on accident. This has been planned for years. And now we're to the point to where we can't even wrap our arms around this. All we could try to do, all we could try to do at the end of the day is be the best image for our child that we can be.
Mhm.
And then what's so sad about that? At the end of the day, that's not even good enough.
Well, and I
Wow.
will say this. I will say this.
Hold
That
on. When I
I
hold on,
feel
let
comfortable.
me back up when I say it's not good enough. When I say it's not good enough, I only say it's not good enough because you're battling against so many oppositions
Other,
that
yep.
you're trying to
It's
keep
it's a
from.
Other
principality,
influences.
vibration, it's a spirit.
Yes,
Mhm.
And
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
what I
Yes.
really
I
appreciate
will say this.
about
I've got 4 kids. I've got 2 now in adulthood, and they're some of the best kids that I've seen in my life.
Yes,
And
sir.
I'll give people this one piece of advice, because I've dealt with tens of thousands of kids across the entire world, and there is one thing that is a differentiator, and it's not amount of money, it's not where you live, it's not the country you grew up in, or the language that you speak. It has nothing to do with that. What it does have to do with is the people in your home. The people in your home are the biggest influences. And so what I tell people is
yeah,
that if you want a good kid, be a good dude. Like, that goes a long way. I was
Yeah.
in the I've done this several times. I did this one time in the prison just to show the guards something. I had all the young boys stand up. We were all in chapel together, and I had them all stand up. And I said, if you cannot say yes to the statement, then
Mhm.
sit down. And the very first statement I made was, I know who my father is.
Mm,
Half of them sat down.
right.
The next statement was, I've met my father. 20% sat down. I was only asking one question, really. How many of y'all got a mom and dad that's married right now? That's all I was asking. And when I got down to that statement, only one dude was left standing. And I made the statement. He the only one in here. And I didn't even say, does he have a good father or a good mom? And he stopped me. He said, Pastor Washington, actually, my father is in prison. And so is my mother. So the only dude in that place that actually had a mom and dad that was married, both of them was in prison, right? And so it goes back to that. Now, is that saying that if you have a father in prison that you're destined to go to prison? No. But it
Oh,
is saying is that if you're active in that child's life, he's going to have a whole lot less chance of going to prison.
Mm.
right. Right.
And when I talk about prison being that ultimate because I'm there every week, right? But in general, you want to raise a good kid, be a good person, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Because let me tell you something, you can teach what you know, but you're going to reproduce who you are.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes,
that
sir.
part, that part.
That
Somebody
part, bro.
find me a mic to drop. Find me a mic to drop right now.
Wow.
That part. Yes,
That's
It's
sir.
not
a
at
lot of work.
share. I'm sorry.
It's a lot of work. It's a
You
lot
know
of
what?
work.
I'm not sorry. I'm gonna stop confessing that. I apologize.
That's right.
I meant to say
Right.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
a
a
lot of
huge
work.
commitment. And the thing is, we make children so haphazardly without considering the commitment that we're signing ourselves up for.
Mm.
Yeah,
If
for us,
Can I ask y'all this? If y'all didn't have kids right now, would you be? Do you think you would want to bring a child into this world right now? The
I
way
am
that you know the
happy.
world right
I am
no,
now.
I'm old.
happily child
no, I'm
free.
44. No, no, I'm
No,
almost
man.
45. So no.
When I say
Ain't no way in the
happily,
world I want now. Start
Yes,
over.
but I would have done it differently. I definitely would have done it differently.
If I could go back in time, I'd still have them, but I wouldn't start now.
So you got to ask that question differently. So for us right now, we're older. So like, if you ask me, would I want to have a kid right now? No, man, because I don't want to be 70 when he graduates.
Oh my God.
Like, hey, that's your granddaddy came out. No, that's not your daddy.
So
Thinking I'm your great granddaddy or something. But if you said I'm younger, and would I want to bring a kid into this world, the world being like it is, knowing what I know, I wouldn't have a problem with it, right? And let me tell you something though. Let me tell you something. Kim said not at all. Like, no, I wouldn't. Let me tell you. Let me put that with a caveat though, right? I would have to know what I know, because early on, the way we were raising our children, we got a lot of flack for. Right? Everybody's like, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that, and no, you shouldn't do this, and you shouldn't do that. Oh yeah, they're in a bubble, they're shielded. Well, now,
oh my God,
supposed to shield them from some stuff. Well, now looking at, once again, 2 of my kids are adults, and they're very well-adjusted adults,
Yes.
right? And they are good, productive human beings. And so now I can talk noise. I couldn't talk noise before. I don't know how it's going to turn out. They 8, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I could be messing them up. You know what I'm saying? But now I can sit back and talk noise because I see the difference, right? And all the people that said, oh, you shouldn't do this, you should go ahead and expose them to this. And I look at the difference in their lives.
Let them watch the movie.
Yeah, oh yeah, you should let them watch this, you should let them watch that. And we didn't do that, right? And now looking back,
parental discretion.
Definitely the right thing.
yeah, yeah.
Y'all exercise parental discretion, huh?
Oh yeah, oh absolutely.
My hat's off to you.
We got flack for that. So
yeah, my hat's off to you guys for homeschooling your children. It's something that I am going to be brave enough to do this fall. I am so scared because I'm a single mother and I have 4, and a home daycare. Oh my God! But I see the difference in children that are homeschooled, like up close and personal. Like when we lived in North Texas, and my oldest was in community theater. Some of the children that were in community theater were in high school and already getting ready for their careers in life. Like they were doing that dual thing, and they were so well. Their behavior was different. Their level of focus and rehearsal was different. Everywhere that I go, when I'm exposed to children and families who homeschool, some of them are weird, but weird is not a bad thing. That means they're peculiar.
But a lot of people will say, well, they don't get the socialization. They're not going to have social skills. And here's what I tell them to that. Go find a 12-year-old homeschool kid and have a conversation with them. And then go back.
Right. I'm like, oh, like people keep trying to tell me that now I shouldn't do it because I'm going to cut my children off from the world. But my 2 oldest, they act. That's their socialization right there. Like they're around other people and other things. And I'm sure we'll find other associations for them to be a part of. But when it comes to school, I don't want them to socialize. I want them to focus on school.
So I want you to think about it like this. Okay. So let's just say, and I'm the, before anybody writes me about public school, I'm painting with a broad brush. So I'm not saying all public schools are horrible or anything like that. But let's just look at the difference. I started going to school when I was 4 years old. So let's just say you got a kid going to school when he's 4. If you send a kid to public school, he's going to learn his socialization skills from other 4-year-olds, and who may have come from families who don't believe like you believe. Now check that socialization skill versus somebody who you're around the same type of people. And they're inside of healthy, productive adult conversations, right? And they see healthy, productive friendships, and they have those friendships as well. And they actually get their socialization skills not only from their peers who have parents that think like you, but also from older individuals. Whereas if you're a 4-year-old, you don't have any contact with a 7-year-old or 8-year-old or 12-year-old or 20-year-old. It's just other 4-year-olds. Period. What did Kim just say? Her nephew and niece is what?
Are very social.
Yeah, so she's talking about my children. They're very social individuals, and they're extreme. Once again, my youngest is 12. Go have a conversation with them. If you think there's a social issue, go have a conversation with them, and then come back and talk to me about it.
Right.
I guess my phone ain't keeping up. Kimberly, in the chat.
Yes.
Is that who you were? Yeah, my
Yes.
phone ain't what in the world? My phone is not not keeping up. That's
she was talking
interesting.
that her nephews and she's talking about my children.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that part.
Somebody on YouTube said school to prison pipeline, all for profit, but a whole nother conversation. Yes.
Yeah, that part.
I agree.
Well, okay, that was KK Chin. Kimberly Spencer, is that your sister, Dwayne? Wait a minute.
That is my
Am I missing something?
That is my sister.
Shut your face up. Well, hi. Good to meet you, or something like that. Hi there. Right on with the right on. I wanna pivot to something a little bit less serious, and then we'll get back to education, sort of, as time permits. I want to ask you all.
Uh-oh.
Let's see which way do I? Because I had a couple of things, things that have come up, bubbled up to the surface of trending topics, and you know what? I'm not even. How about we just not even talk about Wendy Williams tonight? How about just no?
What did she do?
She's the number one trending topic on social media. Yeah, and her divorce.
What did she do this time?
Wendy's going through.
Wendy's going through it. It's
it's too much.
We could skip her. I have no idea what's going on with her.
Yeah, I'm just gonna listen, here's the thing. I don't wish suffering on anybody. I don't wish suffering on anybody. Somebody just enter? We got somebody new in here?
Same person said hello.
Oh, well, hello, whoever that is. But yeah, so I don't wish ill on anybody. But dang, when the chickens come home to roost, because we know how she's made her whole entire complete career. Career.
You know what's going on. I just heard a couple of things, and
I don't wish ill on anybody. I don't wish domestic abuse. I'm sorry, what you said?
I said I just heard a couple of things that's going on with her husband right now. I was just floored. I was just like, wow, Wendy Williams. Like,
whoa. I didn't hear about that one.
Just
I heard that. KW, I heard that.
Come home to roost.
Are you serious?
That's how
what I miss? What is going on? I'm missing something.
I'm looking at what Kim is saying across the
Where is Kim saying this?
Inside of
me. She said her husband was with another man.
Yeah.
I thought he had a girl and a kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
And a dude.
He had a girl and a kid, and he got a side dude.
Oh God.
He out here living his life.
Full meal deal then, huh?
Don't say full meal deal. Don't say that's a bad choice of words.
Oh God, that is a very bad choice of words.
He's gonna get another one pregnant. He had him a little side dude too.
I can't even speak on that.
Just spreading the love around, huh?
Yes, hey. Whitney.
Bored after having so many side chicks.
Right.
Nothing left to do.
So let me ask y'all. I mean, because we got two women here, right? And because for me, being honest, that whole conversation is repulsive, right? But as a woman, like, how do you feel if your man got another girl and a dude? Like, do you feel inadequate, or do you feel like do you feel like he just was gonna do that anyway?
I would be all kinds of confused.
I don't feel inadequate.
I would be all kind of confused. I really would. Like if you had a girl and a guy, I would just.
I ain't finna have no girl and no dude. That's not finna happen.
I wouldn't feel inadequate or confused. I mean, I would just take it for what it is. That's his preference. That's his preference, and just move on. I wouldn't.
Which one is his preference?
Well, some people like it all. I've come across several. As a matter of fact, I hate to say it, but it was all when I was living in the Dallas metro. That like it all, and so I'm not gonna. It's not a reflection on me.
Here's the question.
I
Yeah,
feel
it's that.
Because
Yes, I agree. It's definitely not a reflection on because what happened.
so here's a question for you, right? Does that
Mm-hmm.
because the same stigma is not there on the man side. Like if you dating a chick and the chick got a girlfriend, it's not the. I mean, we want to
It's
we want to
celebrated.
say it's the same thing, but it's not the same. So like, we're not afraid that this girl might also like girls. Was what I'm saying. And so, but does that
secret wish?
does that add to like the complexity
Exactly.
of dating? Like you got to worry about like this dude have a dude like you checking his Instagram to see if he's a little too close to his homeboy. Like does that add to? Do you have that in the back of your mind?
I don't even know how I would begin to try to date as an adult because I've never had to do that. So I don't even know. I'm not qualified to answer that one.
I think my gaydar is pretty strong. And
Gator.
so,
I
yeah.
think so too. Now, I guess women got to worry about the other women being men now too. Really,
Yeah.
you got some
So-
posers and
So what would you do? Because this is real now. You
a
know,
lot
this is
going
real.
on.
If you dating a dude, right, and you into him, you know, it's you really starting to really like him and everything.
Starting to wear your good panties on the date.
Yeah, you're starting to wear your good panties on the date, just in case something go down, you know. And you find out either this used to be or kinda still is a girl. Like, what do you do at that point?
I mean, for me, the deal's over.
No, as a single woman though, like, cause I
Oh.
mean, you know, you out there, you dating, you know, you digging him, and let's just say he went through the full situation, right? So now this is a full girl. I mean, a full guy, but born a full
What?
girl. Does that make a difference?
No.
I'm going to get crucified for answering this one, so I'm going to keep my mouth.
No, thank you. No, it's a no for me.
It doesn't make a difference.
No, it's a no for
You
me.
said
It's
no,
an
it
absolute
doesn't make a
not.
difference.
No, I'm saying no. It's a no.
It's a deal breaker.
Because I mean, for a man, it's pretty simple. Like if you
no
date a chick and you
deal.
found out there used to be a dude, like it's off. Like we finna fight. I'm gonna hit you dead square in your jaw because you a dude. You can take it. You might look like a girl.
But the dude was honest. But if the dude was honest and upfront, why get angry?
Well, if it was
up front and honest.
Okay.
That's one talk. That's one conversation already. But
But you're saying you found out. It wasn't like full disclosure. Like before we go any further, let me let you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. So if I'm and it's just getting too far. So like, and I told some preachers that this was coming.
You find out because somebody tells you, or you finding out because you was going there and you.
Why would you get crucified?
But let's just say, like, no matter how you found out, you passed the point of like you already got feelings for this person. So here's what I tell other pastors.
I tell people take their time.
I said, here's what y'all
look deep.
Here's what we're gonna have to deal with, and y'all, it is happened. The same thing I said has happened. Now check this out. You got a man and woman who coming in for counseling. Okay, they both been divorced. Okay, now the man used to be a woman, was married to a dude, got a divorce, got a sex change, married another dude.
Oh, the delay up in here.
The woman
I see now.
used to be a man.
I done lost you. I need a diagram.
Married a woman, divorced her, turned into a woman. Now they get married. Now it's two, a man and a woman, but the woman used to be a man and the man used to be a woman. You got to figure that stuff out. You got to counsel these people getting ready for marriage.
No, that's too much.
Y'all, this is real. I'm telling you.
I just wonder, how do you counsel that though?
Ain't counseling in the world.
So the counseling is easier than you think though, because the issue is not in the marriage. They got some personal issues. You know, it's like somebody sent me something the other day. It was a young boy. He was in 9th grade and he killed himself. He was gay, and you know they were talking about all this and all that.
Hold on, which one? Which one? Because you know there's several.
I can't remember where
I
the
don't know
young
his
boy
name.
was.
He was in Alabama.
I'm just saying in
Alabama.
general, you know, it's happening
He was
so
in
much.
Alabama.
And what I was telling them, I'm like, y'all are not hitting the right thing. The problem is you're celebrating somebody who is a young boy and he's been through some stuff, and you celebrating that, right? Whenever you have, that's not natural
Right.
for a 14-year-old boy to like men. That's not natural. Something happened to that boy, and y'all need to figure that out so he can get that out and get some healing and some help. But instead of doing that, people, it's like if I broke my arm, and instead of saying let's get your arm set, let's just celebrate the fact that your arm is broke.
Mhm.
Like that don't help people, right? And we're not having these real
Right.
conversations. I dealt with a whole bunch of young boys, and you're not gonna find a young boy who likes men that something did not happen to that boy. Period. So it's the issue is here, right? It's not with, oh, we've got to deal with somebody, wanting to be a man. As a man, you don't know how a man feels. As a woman, you don't know how a woman feels. So I can't say I feel like a woman. Women don't know what it feels like to be a woman. So it's impossible. You just you. And so no matter what you do to the outside of you, the inside of you is still the same. You have the same mentality, the same mind, the same soul, same everything. And those same demons are going to torment you regardless of what you're doing. Right.
But
And so the issue is not one of marriage. Right. It's of, let's go through and figure out what's been torturing you so that you can't even figure out who you're about. Right? Why is that? Let's go back to when you were 12. What did you go through? Let's go back to when you were 10, and we've got to fix those issues. Otherwise, this marriage is going to be a train wreck. Not because of the obvious, y'all having sex change and everything. It's because of the unobvious to the average individual, in that they're both hurting and in pain from 20 years ago that they never got over. And they thought that changing the outside, chopping something off, or having something put on was going to change that fact. It is not, right? It is definitely not. And so from a counseling perspective, you go back to that. You go back to how do they get healing as individuals before they even think about how do we come together as something else. So it's not as tough as it sounds. It sounds confusing, but there are heterosexual couples that have much more confusing situations, believe it or not.
Dang, we should have got off the beaten path from Wendy Williams, didn't we?
Not really.
No,
I mean,
we got there.
Look at what we're dealing with. Here's a dude that can't figure out what he wants. I want another chick. What he has figured out is he don't want her, evidently. He want everything but you.
she figured out she didn't want that abuse mentally, emotionally, situationally, and physically anymore. And rumor had it a health and welfare check, huh?
He was beating her on top of that.
She was on a show for a whole couple of weeks in a sling, an arm sling.
Oh.
And what I was getting ready to say was, there's a new report stating the police were called to her house before she came back on the show. The New Jersey police, to do a health and welfare check by someone from the show, citing that they were afraid he was poisoning the woman. And when the police got there, she was in bed with covers pulled up to her neck, basically.
So on top of him having another woman and a baby and a dude, and you still ain't left him, and he's beating you on top of that, and you're staying, right?
Wow.
I mean, think about that. Think about that kind of mindset and abuse that she's got to be going through. This dude is out there doing the most, and you staying
beyond the most,
and he beating you,
living his best life.
Imagine what that abuse is
living
like.
his best lie.
God.
The best lie never told.
And Charlemagne is up in that whole is up in that whole spider web too.
Somehow, somewhere. Yeah.
Supposedly
and he was on drugs.
Him and Wendy. Supposedly.
Wait, say that again.
Really?
Charlemagne and Wendy.
Charlemagne and Wendy, and supposedly this is why Charlemagne and Wendy's husband don't like each other. That's why Wendy's husband don't like Charlemagne.
Really?
Yeah, Charlemagne is entangled in
the obvious here. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm just going.
It's too much, man.
I can't even.
Okay, wow.
But you know what? I mean, so when we go back, if you want to know why we do with Gentleman Society, it's what we're dealing with right now. Think about all the pain that this dude is causing everybody around him, right?
Yes, yes.
And now when we look at things like the Me Too movement and that kind of stuff, that's
well, I was gonna say we talked
good.
about toxic masculinity during the last conversation, and
Right.
that to me strikes me as a prime example of what toxic masculinity looks like. Toxic anything.
Exactly. And so a lot of times we don't get involved until after the fact. The abuse is done, the rape is done, the molestation is done, and we talk about speaking out about it. But what we got to do is prevent it from happening. And what we do is we train our boys so that we prevent that from happening to begin with, right? And there's a lot of men got to step up. Let's train these boys, even if that boy ain't yours. And that could be a boy across the street. You know, it could be the one next door. It could be the one you coaching, man. We know when boys need help, man. We gotta train these boys. And so even when, even if you got a crazy baby mama, right, man, you gotta bypass all of that and get to training that boy so that he doesn't become these other things. Because at that point, man, that's a whole lot of healing that has to come play. You know, when we talk about an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. You know,
Agreed.
we gotta get in there, man, and help save these babies, man. Because one dude now, I don't know what happened, what not. We all agree that we probably wouldn't leave our daughter with R. Kelly.
God no.
But look at this one person, whether we believe everybody or whatever. Look at how many people are damaged now because of one person.
Precisely.
Right? Who is a damaged person himself? You know.
And so what do we do? Leave him to continue to cause damage, or you know, come on.
No, I think we call it out, but what we do is we call it out, but a lot of times we miss it, or we turn a blind eye to it. So
I don't think we miss it.
Yeah, it ain't missed.
Is you know who's molesting, you know who's touching.
Hey,
and then you tell the girls, oh, y'all just need to stay away from him.
Right,
no, go check that dude, so he don't hurt nobody.
I almost screamed at that part.
I did a little bit. Y'all caught it.
On top of that, we got you know.
We created the monster that we perceive R. Kelly to be right now. We help create that monster.
Well, and we do it every day.
I'm not sure who it is.
Because you don't want to turn in Uncle Willie. You know, you
that,
don't want to
it's
y'all
that.
know Uncle Willie touching on girls.
Can you
name something else? My dad is Uncle Willie. He don't touch on the girls. I know that for a fact.
Okay,
so can we name something else?
Do you have an Uncle Bobo?
I don't have an
Uncle Rufus, Uncle Lester.
Uncle Lester, the child molester.
Uncle Chester, the child molester. Cousin Lester, also a child molester. No. You know what happened to Fester? He's a child molester.
Oh God, I'm done. Check, please.
But I think here's the bigger thing.
Truth.
Right? We ignore the signs. Once again, nowadays you see a 10th grade boy and he's gay, y'all want to celebrate it. Bump that. Something's wrong. Right? Don't turn your back on that. Something's wrong. Go talk to that kid. Find out what happened. Right? But we want to, oh, he's so brave. There ain't nothing brave about that. Right? That's somebody reaching out. There's something happening there. And that's not a conversation that we're having. We're like, oh, that's not politically correct. Look, you better get in there and help this boy. Right? Because something is wrong. And if you don't fix that, he might hurt some other people. And the person that hurt him might go hurt some other people. So we've got to start having some real conversation and recognizing when something is amiss, something's wrong. These little girls, when they tell you somebody's touching on them, believe them. Right?
That part.
Mamas like, I don't believe you. Quit saying that about so and so. Believe these little girls.
You have to watch the behavior too.
The behavior,
yeah. I think some of your kids are uncomfortable around people. You know, you can tell. And kids, I don't know. It seems like little kids know. They can sense it. Like if the kids don't want to go somewhere, don't force them. Like there's a reason, or if they're making up, if they're hesitant about going around people that they used to be okay with,
And some things you got to realize ain't natural. Like a grown man should not just be volunteering to keep your little girl. Okay, we don't like kids like that. You know what I'm saying? I work with kids for a living, and I love them, but I don't like them like that. I ain't volunteering to keep your 3-year-old. Hey, why don't y'all go somewhere so I can just keep your 3-year-old overnight? I don't want to. No, for what? Right? Grown men shouldn't want to do that. What do y'all got? You want to put some clothes on? I'm sorry.
That's that fatherhood stuff we were talking about.
We had an issue coming on over here.
A little bit of fathering in action happening over there.
Don't get in front of the camera. Put some clothes on.
Tell them Miss LaLa said bed not.
Anyway, I'm sorry. We had an issue. Let me mute.
So I have someone in the comments that said it's time. Hey, Jennifer Burleson, thank you for joining. Someone in the comments said it's time to move on to another subject, so we're gonna do that. Okay, we're gonna keep the people happy. Keep the people happy, keep the people here.
Oh.
So what say we about melanotan?
Say it again.
Anyone?
Oh, that thing that turns you
Say
white.
that again.
Melanotan, the opposite. It's the stuff that turns white people brown.
Next topic.
Wait, what is that?
Next.
Melanotan?
Melanotan.
That's a thing?
It's an injection that people can take to tan without laying out in the sun all day.
I'm so sick.
Well, you know, I mean, hey.
Everybody loves chocolate.
Everybody loves chocolate.
Next topic.
Everybody wants Everybody.
Next topic.
Okay.
Do we all agree in the chat? Next topic, chatters. No melanotan tonight.
Everybody
We're just
want
not
to
gonna do melanotan.
I mean,
what'd you say, Booker?
I would wish everybody would be comfortable in their own skin. It just makes it easier.
They not though.
Yeah.
They not. Not now.
Well, you know, when you see better, you want to be better.
Come on.
Everybody wants to be black until it's time to be black.
Yeah.
Right?
Say it one more time for the people.
I thought that was what Booker was getting ready to say.
I ain't gotta say it. Y'all know what it is. Y'all.
My kids are insane. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
What I missed?
My children are in here and insane. My girls are in here and they crazy.
What they say?
Come on in.
What happened?
There's one of them.
Huh?
Who is that?
No, while you're in the bathroom.
No, we don't want to see nothing.
No. I come later.
What's up, buddy?
Send it to me.
Hey, you.
Hi. This is
How are you?
I swear I'm cuter than this in real life.
What's that?
I said this is a bad angle for
Look
me.
at my baby. Oh.
Merci.
We got to get back up soon.
Talking about me.
Huh?
You gotta mute.
What happened?
What happened?
Everybody. That's hilarious. Did you mute yourself again? That's too funny.
Yep, they're muted.
So no melanotan. You got rid.
What happened was
You got on a webcam fit. Sit down.
Come here.
You got on
She said t-shirt only.
Have a press conference online.
Wait, what now?
Coming for you. She came.
It's getting really, yeah, mute
Yes,
the phone. It's getting really real over there. God. Oh, is that my other baby?
Oh.
Oh my gosh, they're getting so big. Oh my goodness. The children, they grow up. Oh my gosh.
All right.
Daddy and his girls.
Daddy and his girl.
That's what's up. What happened? He's muted. Okay. So no melanotan. We're not doing that tonight. Got it. Okay. So So we're gonna talk about Kanye and his. We're gonna talk about Kanye and his Sunday service though. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna get into this.
I've seen a lot of posts defending it, but I haven't seen anyone hating on it. Me personally.
I've seen some of both.
She said she liked it.
Who's she? Which one?
I haven't watched all of it. I just watched people's on Instagram.
Imani is lit.
Yeah.
My question is, what's wrong with it? What's the problem?
Yeah.
What's the problem?
Yeah, what's the problem with
Anybody?
I don't see a problem.
Nobody?
I didn't even know it existed. You know,
Here's-
as long as he's not on that Yeezus stuff.
Here's my question.
Oh, somebody else is preaching.
So they have like real sermons.
What? So what is it?
So they have like, so instead of praise and worship, they just singing his songs.
Wait, she's pulling up somebody because I haven't heard.
No, that's not true.
Praising the Lord Jesus.
Not,
What is it?
That's
the real question.
That's not true.
Hold on.
They're not just singing his songs.
I think they got a little hot water with the Clark sisters about it, or he did about using some of that stuff.
All I've seen is inspirational music and a great time. Great music, coming together, collaborating, inspiration. That's all I see.
Mm-hmm.
And giving a lot of art and giving a lot of people opportunity to do something that they probably wouldn't have been doing 6 months ago.
That's wonderful.
I mean, I watched a couple, but I really paid attention to the one at Coachella. And if you would have, I tuned in from the one at Coachella, like when it first began, and it was just music being played, and he was playing Gap Band, Stevie Wonder, Earth, Wind and Fire. It was just a gang of music that the band was playing. And then when they start performing, I didn't recognize no Kanye songs. I mean, so I'm just asking, like, this is my whole thing with it. It's like, for everybody who I have heard say something negative about it, it comes with the statement that Kanye made. You know what I'm saying? It comes with that statement. And I just say to folks, like, say, man, we so forgiving of others. We are so forgiving of other people. But when it comes to us, it's zero. We have zero forgiveness and zero tolerance for each other. But when it comes to everybody else, we can excuse you for that. We can excuse you for this. I'll forgive you for that. I forgive you for. But when it comes to us, man, it's just something that's very deep dug down in our DNA.
Yeah, I hear his sisters-in-law have some opinions about forgiveness and us lately.
Huh?
I hear.
Say it again.
I hear his sisters-in-law have something to say about forgiveness and I guess brown-skinned people too. Anybody hear anything about that?
No,
I would say we some of the most forgiving folks. Like none of us are mad at Bill Cosby these days. You know what I'm saying? We most of us figure OJ did it, but we're not really mad at him. It seems like in general we're a pretty forgiving individual.
Y'all check the chat because it's getting interesting in the chat right now. Real spill happening in the chat.
That only happens when we think we're winning.
Mm-hmm.
That only happens when we think we're winning. That goes on when it's us against the world.
Okay.
Up until that point, nah, bro. We don't forgive each other like that, bro. We ain't forgiving of each other like that.
Here's my plot twist, though. Y'all ready for the plot twist?
What's that?
Let's go.
Y'all ready for the plot twist? So we're gonna say Kanye is back on the team. He's back on the team from everything he did last year and all that. 100 years of slavery was a choice, and
Okay.
He back on the team.
I wanted you to say it.
Yes, he back on the team. So can we let Chrisette Michelle back on the team finally?
Who?
Michelle.
He said who?
I'm so
I'm sorry,
what did she do?
I didn't
I
hear
rest my
you.
case.
Who you say,
I
sis?
rest my
What did
case.
she do?
Sis,
What did she do?
Chrisette
Who is she?
Michelle
What
is
she
a
do?
singer.
She's a singer.
Shade.
can we?
Kanye West was practically a Trump pundit, or attempted to be. Tried real hard to be. Chrisette
Can we?
Michelle took a gig to sing at the freaking inauguration of this man, and suddenly she's the Antichrist to Black people.
Oh, see,
Oh,
I wasn't cool with that. I wasn't cool with
I
that.
don't mind that at all.
I'm saying this. Okay.
When you
So
go look
No, I'm not.
Kanye took it back to
Ray
church.
Charles, for example,
No, wait a minute.
No,
Wait.
they tried to come
Let
down
me
on Ray
let me let
Charles
me
because
let
they
me
said
let me put it in
did a
context.
gig
And put
at
it in
the
context.
I'm saying
was it
I
Ray Charles
wasn't
thing?
cool with the
What
backlash that she got.
she got? Okay. Talk to me. Why were you not
Wasn't
cool
cool.
with it?
That wasn't cool.
Mm-hmm.
That, I mean, so what? They love. Look here, man. Look. Okay,
Inauguration.
they do what they want to do for Trump. That's cool. Trump. I don't have nothing. I'm not associated with Trump. And what them grown folks choose to do at the end of the day, that don't represent me. So I'm not gonna sit here and let you tell me Kanye represents us as a whole. I'm not gonna sit here and let you tell that old girl that Miss Lady represents us as a whole. No,
Right.
she do not represent me as a whole. I know how I know how I feel about that man. And that's and however they feel about him, that's hey man, I can't control that.
Well,
I
I will say
can't
this.
control. Am I a fan of the music? I'm a fan of the music all day long. I'm a
I'll say
fan of the
this.
music.
I have played for the president of the United States, and
Which
it
one?
Say
doesn't
again.
matter who the president is. That is a dang honor, and if you ever get a chance to do that, you should do that. It doesn't matter who is occupying that seat. It
There's
is
that.
it is like you. It is an experience you will never forget. It doesn't
Wait,
matter, and on top of that, I spent a year on Capitol Hill in D.C.
I'm I'm
And
finna give
so
y'all.
for me, it doesn't matter who's there anyway. It's like those people ain't running it anyway. When you really get down, you'll
Bam.
find out real quick it don't make a difference. Okay? It don't
That's it.
make a difference at all. So for somebody to say, I go back to what Ray Charles said. Ray Charles, he got paid to play at the Republican National Convention. And they tried to come down on the for him. They said, "Why'd you do this?" He said, "Cause they paid me. That's
So
why I
did
did it
That's
so
it.
so did James Brown. Now
all day."
That's it.
check this out.
Just a gig.
Check this out. Lupe Fiasco, right? Lupe Fiasco. He performed at Obama's. I think it was the inauguration. And Lupe Fiasco said some words that was not appreciated by Obama and whoever else that was like Obama. And that dude, since then, Lupe Fiasco's career has taken a
Wow.
it took a devastating turn. They
Well,
told that dude he would not be invited back to perform for the, but this was Obama in office. This was Obama.
I don't remember him seeing him when I was there, but
Pretty
that's
much,
not.
and pretty much
Because you
Lupe
don't hear about
was
Lupe Fiasco at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's disrespectful.
saying,
So like we're all artists. Okay, if somebody's paid you to come and play and you've accepted that gig, you don't get there and talk about the people that paid to play that paid you. You don't do that. Like if the NRA writes me a $15,000 check for my band to come and play, I'm not gonna get there and say how horrible guns are. I'm gonna spend my more, get my check, and go home.
That
That's
part.
disrespectful, right? That's just disrespectful.
the
You don't
thing,
do that.
no,
I
no,
mean,
no, that's not disrespectful. That's honestly, bro, that's not disrespectful. Because if you got something to say that's on your mind, what they might want to do is ask you before they ask you to come perform. They might want to ask you, how do you feel about this president, about his views, about what's going on. They might want to ask you that because they never know. They never know what they're gonna get.
No, I think it's disrespectful as an artist. I mean, so like if I go to play for somebody, no matter who the person is, whether it's Joe Blow down the street or whether it's President Obama, it doesn't make a difference. I have accepted that I am now their employee. And it is disrespectful for me to talk bad about my employer that's employing me. If I had that big an issue, then like for example, I probably wouldn't go do a gig for Planned Parenthood. I probably wouldn't. Until they change some views, I probably wouldn't, because I feel so strongly about that I probably wouldn't do it. Now, let me tell you this. If I did do it, I go play the gig and I go home. I'm not finna get up there and say how horrible Planned Parenthood is when they just wrote me a check, right? Because at that point, I'm working for them. And so let me flip that. Okay, so I throw some pretty decent sized concerts, right? And I bring some pretty decent sized jazz musicians to town, right? If I'm right, and people don't realize, like sometimes my band, we might choose to perform on it, we may not, but that's our show, right? Like I'm paying these people to be here. You better not get on stage and talk bad about me and I just wrote you this check, right? That's what you're not finna do, right? Because that's just not, I might make sure that check don't go through, right? I didn't just spend my hard-earned cash to put you on a plane, to put you up in this hotel, to make sure there's limos taking you everywhere, to get all these 50 people here working this show, all this sound system and lights and all this other stuff, and I did all of that, right? All this advertising on the radio and everything, I did all of that, and you gonna talk bad about me? You better not. Okay, that's disrespectful. But if you had an issue with me, don't take the gig, right? So I think that it is irresponsible, because that's not the place, that's not your platform. Okay, it'd be different if you created the platform and I just happened to be there. You can say whatever you want to, but if I've paid you to be there, then you need to be respectful. So for me, if I'm being paid to be there and I've taken the gig, like if okay, let me back up. I'm taking a perfect example. Jay-Z, the NFL asked Jay-Z to come do the Super Bowl. Jay-Z said, "No, I'm not doing that. I ain't got to do that. We sell out stadiums every week, right? I ain't got to do that." And I love that. He said, "I don't agree with what they do."
They don't pay artists to do the Super Bowl nowhere.
Huh?
Artists don't pay to do the Super Bowl.
They don't get paid to do the Super Bowl. However, they get paid from the Super Bowl. If you look at how, and Beyonce did an excellent job. She negotiated a commercial and the whole nine. So they get revenue from it, just not directly. Right. So when you look at it and you say, Jay-Z doesn't agree with this, therefore I'm not taking the gig, whether it's a paid gig or not. Okay. So because he said I don't agree, I'm not going to take the gig. I'm not going to take the gig and then stand up and say how horrible the NFL is while I took the gig to do the Super Bowl. Right. I think I call that integrity. So if you don't agree with it to the point where you want to say something, then don't go do it. Right. So if
don't support it in deed or in principle.
Muhammad Ali would knock suckers out all day long and still took their money and still talked about it.
Well, that's part of the business, though. Yeah, that's part of what he did. That was his business.
Okay.
You talking that jive, I'm gonna knock you down in 5. You know what I'm saying?
And give me your paycheck and give me my money.
Give me the coins.
But he didn't go to war. I don't believe in killing these people. I don't believe in killing folk on the other side of earth that I don't even know. So he didn't go, and he didn't take money from them either. Right? So and he went to jail for it. He said, "I don't care. I'm not doing it," and he didn't.
True.
And that's what I'm saying. So it would be disrespectful if he said, "Yeah, I'm not gonna go to war. I hate war, but I'm gonna take money from the army to come and play. And when I come and play, I'm gonna talk bad about the army." Like that's not how you do that. That's disrespectful.
All right, here. Okay, so we got somebody in the comment, Mr. or Mrs. KK Chin. I'm not sure, but this person is directing from the sideline saying we need to move on. So I'm gonna ask KK, what would you like us to talk about, Hunter?
KK got ADD.
Where we go?
I'm joking.
Where we going next, KK?
Don't kill me.
It's a jokey joke. It's a jokey joke.
I'm joking. Don't kill me.
Where we going next, KK? Talk to us. What you want us to talk about tonight? Taking your request. Me being country again.
The AKA thing yet?
The what thing?
The AKA
Did we talk about what now? Ooh, I was debating. Lord, I was debating.
What thing are y'all talking about?
Because I have the sorority in my family.
You said a sorority thing?
So there's
I am the mother of them all.
Said what now?
What are y'all talking about?
Said what now? KK done got quiet now. She told us to move on, and now we done got quiet.
I was waiting on a comment.
Yeah. We ready to move on. You got us on pause, KK. Come on now. Don't leave us on pause. You ain't got to do that. Come on now.
Got that bad internet.
Oh, I'm not doing this with you tonight. I'm not.
Just gotta wait.
So, HBCU sorority pimping prostitution ring.
Whoa, I ain't heard about that.
Yeah, buddy. And let me get to the right, because it's in Florida, if I'm not mistaken.
FAMU?
And I believe it's Fort. Is it FAMU? I thought it was Fort Valley something.
Oh, I don't know what it is. I hadn't heard of it. I'm just saying, please don't let it
look right quick.
Wow. So they had a pimping and prostitution ring going on.
Mm-hmm. There were six people, if I'm not mistaken, indicted behind it.
You said 6 people indicted,
including a couple of school administration government.
And who?
And a local member of the government, a member of the local government,
well,
like a city council member or something like that.
It's gonna take all of them together to make it work, because pimping ain't easy.
Who's signing up for that?
Somebody isn't funny at all. KK, what you doing over here, KK?
I saw that.
KK, what are you doing, KK? We still waiting on a new subject, KK.
Who signed up for that?
KK a little salty.
Who signed up to get pimped? Who signed up to get
Hey, they trying to pay that tuition.
My internet is moving slow on my computer. Let me look right quick.
Good. It really was to pay their
right
fee.
quick.
They couldn't pay their.
So I'd rather testify. Yeah, it was to pay the sorority fee, precisely.
Oh.
To add further insult to injury. Let me Google this real fast.
Wait, they had to do that to get into the sorority?
They have to pay like an entry, like dues, in order to actually join. And so I'm looking it up right now.
That was in lieu of dues?
That's the new hazing.
They had to do it for the dues?
That's the new hazing.
I shall not with you. I shall not.
Oh.
That's the new hazing.
HBCU, AKA prostitution ring. There we go.
Let's see how you walk.
That
is insane.
I agree. Oh.
Was it at HBCU?
Man, don't let these folks.
Fort Valley State.
Don't let these
folks.
So
was Fort Valley?
Don't let these folks try to put us on blast.
I'm with you, man.
You know what frustrates me?
If this is going on at a HBCU, I guarantee you it's going on at some.
Oh, it's going on at a much bigger scale.
Not that, yes, it's going on a larger scale. Don't let them folks try to put this on no HBCU like this is where this started from. Say, man,
discussion.
They try to lure.
Look at who's buying it. What school they from?
They try to lure. There you go, bro. There you go. Who buying?
Where's the what now?
What school?
Okay.
Who buying?
Okay.
Where the customers?
Oh God, the title of it is Big Pimpin', y'all.
I saw that.
So here's a question for you.
Ex-university employee and AKA advisor among 7 indicted at the Fort Valley State prostitution case.
I'm about to Google these people.
Says,
Wait. Back up. Read that again.
okay, it says ex-university employee and AKA advisor is among 7 people indicted at the Fort Valley State prostitution case.
You notice there's only one picture.
6 men also were indicted. One being Ernest Harvey, 47, of Fort Valley, a middle school principal.
So
Kenneth
listen,
Howard, 56, of Fort Valley, city manager of Hinesville.
wait, but I want you to hear this real good. And as you read, I want you to think this, because this just reminded me of something when I was in high school, right? And when I was in high school, they came out with this story. There was a stairway raping at O.D. White High School. Okay. Now, what shook us to begin with is that we didn't have stairs. It was one floor. So as kids, as high school students, we started looking into this story.
You're breaking up.
How
Big
in the world are
time.
you gonna say that? Well, what the story
Big time
was,
breaking up.
was a girl. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay. The story was that there was a girl who had got assaulted. That at some point she went to O.D. White, but got assaulted way across town somewhere else, and somebody else had assaulted her. It had nothing to do with our school, right? And I was getting ready to say something like, when was the last positive HBCU story we've read? And when we look at this, it doesn't seem like, and I haven't read the story, so as you read it, let's think about it, because everybody you're saying is not the school. Like, they 46 years old, they ain't going to school there, right? How many of these people were actually associated with the school?
No, one is a high school, a middle school principal. Excuse me.
He's not the administrator at the college.
Right, he's an administrator over middle school girls instead.
Right, but I'm saying they mentioned the HBCU, like the HBCU sponsored this stuff, right? In other words, could they have told the same story without even
Absolutely not
HBCU? You said what now?
Absolutely not. We have things. We have one black school in my state, one black university, and actually, I think it's the only HBCU on this side of the country. And then there's also OU and there's OSU. And I know for a fact, because I'm not too far removed from the age of college age kids, and you know, I keep my ear to all that stuff. Kids are dying. They're making the same mistakes. There's drug busts. There's kids doing way more expensive drugs than at Langston. But anytime something happens at Langston, it's all over the news across the state.
Exactly.
And the things that happen at the other two schools, you will not hear not even 25% of it.
And that's my point. Like, first of all, you know, is the school even involved? The first 3 people you named, like an ex-person of the school, or someone who may have went to the school at some point, but is a principal somewhere else. But yet they had specifically put in the HBCU. And so what I'm trying to figure out is why they even need to mention the HBCU.
Because the girls who were being prostituted were a part of the student body, and they were candidates for that particular school's line of the sorority. I think that's how the tie-in.
Okay, go ahead and continue reading.
That's the tie. That, and plus their advisor, who was an administrator at the school and a former, how'd it go? Yeah, she's an employee and the advisor of the line itself, that particular chapter and line of the sorority.
So it doesn't apply when it comes to this story. It actually made sense. I mean, it was something that
it makes absolute sense. Yeah. But I think also, here's the other part too. A couple things I want to say to that. First of all, I'm looking at this list and I'm like, I'll be dadgum, because it points to a bigger problem, a problem of corruption, in my opinion, in that area. And the school is just a part, you know, it got tied into it, you know, because they were being, in essence, those girls were being preyed upon by local doggone. You got a city manager
Right.
For crying out loud.
Pastor.
A
What's the
middle
name of
school
the city?
principal, a pastor, a lawyer, a vice chairperson of the county board of commissioners.
What's the name of the city?
This is Fort Valley. What?
What's the name of the county? That's my
Yeah,
point.
in the Constitution.
So they're mentioned in the HBCU right up front, but yet these people are from the county. They're not putting that right up front. You see what I'm saying? I mean, the when you look at the headline, it ain't including all this other stuff.
Oh, that's
So
the name of the city.
Why?
That's the actual name of the city as well in Georgia.
Yeah.
No, what's the name of the county?
What's the name of the county?
Yeah.
You asking what the name of the county is?
Yeah, what's the name? Because it's a county official that was busted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Crisp County, which I guess I don't know if that's inside or outside of I don't know if that's a direct connection to the city. Either way it goes, he's a public official and a pastor.
Wow.
And somebody who's held in high esteem that should be beyond reproach, is what I'm saying. There are positions that require you to be beyond reproach. And it just, to me, why would a person in that position even? It goes back to what I was saying earlier. If you know that people are gonna be looking for a reason anyway, you in a position of high visibility. Why would you allow yourself to be caught up in anything like that anyway?
One reason.
I'm waiting.
Money. When you have made money your God, you'll do whatever to get it. One reason.
I think
they were spending it apparently.
I think it's bigger than money. I think it's more about the power and the control. And I think I think people like that get off on the fact that they're highly respected and can get away with doing whatever they want to do and having this other level of power over people.
Power and control brings money. When you go to Capitol Hill, you'll find that those politicians care about one thing, and that's being reelected because it brings revenue, right? Power and control also brings revenue, period.
We were talking earlier about, Uncle Chester, we're gonna say, instead of correcting him and making it consequential for him to behave out of line, you kept the girls away and warned the girls about him not to get too close and stuff. I remember being in basic training, and several different times, several different ways, female drill sergeants would pull the female soldiers to the side and have these little powwows about stay away from the male drill sergeants, stay away from my battle buddies. My whole thought the whole time was, you keep your battle buddy. I didn't say that, of course, because I wasn't trying to get smoked. But I'm thinking to myself, shoot, keep your battle buddies away from us. Because at the end of the day, I can't speak for anybody else, but I'm here to get that bonus money at the end of this cycle. I'm here for a reason, okay? And it's not to mess with any doggone drill sergeants while I'm here. So while we're having this powwow, between me, a brand new private in the Army, and a staff sergeant who's also a drill sergeant, who's also a doggone head drill instructor, say for instance, as one of them was, which one of us has more to freaking lose? Like seriously. Right. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's really interesting how in order to keep things at bay, the lecture goes to the would-be prey rather than the would-be predator.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're right.
And the same holds true for those girls were trying to get on the doggone line. They were trying to become AKAs by any means. Listen, any of y'all sorority or fraternity members?
Well,
crickets. Got it.
I'll take that back. The organization that I'm in, we are the mother of all the Divine Nine. It's a fraternal organization. We were first. They came out of us.
I'm listening. Okay, she don't drop the mic there. Got it. Would that be the AKAs? Is that what?
No, they are not first. The Divine Nine came from us. I'm a member of the Order of the Eastern Star.
Oh yes, gotcha. Okay, I'm like, okay, got it. So in these schools, I've never pledged, but I know some people who have, and They didn't tell me everything, right? Because they're not supposed to, whatever. But I know they worked hard to get in that doggone in there, hard. And one part of the programming is, is this sorority or fraternity in your heart or not? Well, prove it. You got to prove it. You see what I'm saying? And so, granted, it didn't go down that way. I don't suppose at Grambling on their AKA line. Granted, it didn't go down that way. Let's just say at Jarvis Christian College. I'm from East Texas, so I got to bring up my East Texas schools. Granted, where is the line? It depends on the people who are enforcing the line. You know what I'm saying? And so these girls were put into that position, and there were willing participants who were also in positions of power. I don't know. To me, it was
that's a lot of accountability, because that's some foolishness.
No, that is what I'm looking at right there. Where's the doggone accountability?
I mean, and all of these organizations come from religious and Christian roots. So to defile the name and the letters like that, that's all I'm gonna say.
That right there. I think we've hit the apex of this conversation.
Bang.
Shall we?
Bang.
Shall we?
Bang.
Anybody else got anything else going on in the news that they want to talk about?
That's all I gotta say, but that's all I need. Bang.
Where's the accountability?
Whoa.
You know what? Brother Dwayne said something a little earlier, and once again, I want to thank you all so much for being a part. Y'all, tonight was work, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
It was work.
We made it.
But we made it. We got through. We made it to the finish line. We got on live, and thanks to everybody that showed up tonight in the chat. We greatly appreciate it. I want to say, I'm sorry,
and thank you, KK.
Yes, thank you, KK, for keeping us rolling. Good night, sugar. Good night.
Thank you, KK.
Please come again, and please come with some suggestions too next time. We'll leave that there. Do come back. Do come back now. You hear? Come back now. You hear? Yes. So, but yeah, I just really want to thank you all for striving with me here to get to this point. And next week is going to be a whole lot smoother now that we know what the heck we're doing. Do we like this format now? Are we going to keep this?
Yeah.
1 second.
Thank you for the invite.
Absolutely. Are you coming back next week, Butha?
I will be back.
Yes. So, I think we got ourselves a new panel member. Yes.
Yeah, I need to give you my correct email address because I didn't think this all the way through. So I'm going to give you, this is a good email, but it needs to be, if I'm going to be commenting, I need to be commenting from the YouTube page that actually has my channel set up.
That part.
Yeah. So
yes, darling. Yes. Cross marketing. Let's get it.
So I'm
here for it. Well, I'm super excited that yes, please. And thank you. Super excited that we got through tonight successfully. And what do y'all think? Should we pick the book back up next week? What do y'all think?
Yeah, it's been a little while.
It's been a second, huh? So Booth, to catch you up, we've been reading from this book called Alf. And Alf, it's spelled ALPH. It's a book written by this man named Charles Eric Maine, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was written in 1971.
Okay.
And who wants to catch him up in terms of how far we've gotten so far in the book?
You're not gonna like it, bro.
Last man standing. Well, right now he's not standing anymore, though.
Last man standing.
So
what's the synopsis so far?
The premise. It's gonna sound good at first, but it's not. So you got a guy. He's the last guy on the planet, basically, right? It's all women. Last guy on the planet, but it's not good. I won't tell you why. Go read the book. You'll figure that out.
All right.
Anyway, I'm trying to keep it PG-13 here. He breaks free, and dies, and so then it's only women, and it's only women for hundreds of years. But they're still trying to figure out this dude thing. Now they like it being only women. At least they say they like it. But not really, because you know it ain't no anyway. Can't say everything, but so 500 years later, they actually find him in the snow, dead though, you know, but preserved in the snow.
Yeah.
So
preserved in
they,
the snow.
you know, kind of figure out a way to extract some DNA and
Mm.
create another boy. And we'll pause there. But for the graphic version, go read the book. It'll you ain't gonna like it, bro. I'm just telling you. You're not gonna. It sounds good. You be the last man standing.
All
But
right.
it ain't.
Is it World Without Men?
It's not.
Is that the alternative book name, World Without Men?
I don't know. It could be. It could be.
Charles.
Sound like Chirac.
Does it?
Sound like the movie Chirac.
I didn't see that.
Watch that.
Okay.
Huh. So what we're gonna do is here's what I propose. In order to spare the general public the reading part of it, what I like to do is devote like the first 30 minutes of our conversation to actually doing a live reading. And would y'all be cool with showing up at 9 o'clock instead of 9:30? And then
that's fine.
start the live at 9:30. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
Everybody cool with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool beans. We got ourselves a plan. All righty then. Well, does anybody have anything to say in closing?
May the Lord watch.
Between me and thee while we apart one from another. Right on. Anyone else?
People were mad at each other when they said that.
Yes, they were. And it was always that one church mother that would break up the argument. May the Lord watch.
Amen. You know, I want to say one thing. The Lord came through, didn't he?
Did.
Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Did. Won't he do it? Won't he will? And did. Buddha, any parting words for the night? Buddha, you still there? Buddha Vandross. Okay. So once again, I just want to thank everybody. Yes, between me and thee. I hear you, Kim, in the chat. Just want to say thank you once again to everybody that came out to the chat to watch live and to chat with us, including KK. And thank you to my panelists for showing up and showing out once again tonight. As you all can see, it's never a dull moment. It's going to be even liver next week because it's going to be more of us next week. We had a couple of people that were out tonight. Shout out to Medusa and shout out to QP. They were out performing on the live music scene tonight. Shout out to Ali Carter, who was having a red carpet event for I Am Royalty Radio. Whoop, whoop. Who else? Shout out to Brian Wilkes. I'm not sure why he wasn't with us, but I'm sure it was a good reason because he usually has one if he's not involved. Who else? Who am I missing, y'all? Shout out to Sunny. Sunny might be handling some back orders because Sunny is a master knitter, y'all. I'm about to get some leg warmers done, and I'm so excited about it. So shout out to Sunny, taking care of business up there up north. Who else am I missing? Am I missing anybody else?
Oh, Natasha.
Shout out to Natasha in China. Probably asleep. Probably just waking up. Yeah, I'm just so grateful for y'all. Thank you so much for being so faithful in this process. You know, we started on the Zoom and then me having to edit these videos. And now we're back live, thankfully. So I'm so grateful. I'm so excited to get to this point. And thank y'all for rocking with me all the way. So until next time, we're going to do, so the broadcast is going to happen again at 9:30 for everybody in the general public. We will begin our conversation at 9 o'clock with the live reading of the book. And we'll pick up with the actual broadcast. Where we start the discussion. Any questions? And I've got a plan for that. So we're gonna go back to, if y'all are cool with it, I want to go back to the other hangout that we had that wasn't broadcast to discuss that further before we end completely for the night. Is that cool with y'all before we just shut it down?
That's cool.
Cool. Well, good night, everybody else, and we'll talk to you soon. I'll talk to you panelists in about 45 seconds. All right, peace.